What we're gonna do today is we're gonna dive down into the BRRRR method.
Household easy, we close fast, and anytime that works for you. Your house don't need it, we'll throw cash, it hit so fast, don't know what to do. Wanted to care to keep it.
I have been using the BRRRR method for about, I would say maybe 5 years, and I've been doing it exclusively for about 3 years. And in the last 5 years, we've done close to 200 BRRRR deals. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm going to break down how they work. I'm gonna give you guys some pro tips on what to do, what to not do, and what to avoid, and how you guys can all use this method to build your portfolio of rentals. And the coolest thing is how to do it with little to none of your own money. That is always gonna be the goal, right? I never like to use any of my money, and I like to do this with other people's money, guys. So this is a presentation that we're gonna call BRRRR Method Mastery, because in the next 3 hours, our goal is to teach you as much as we possibly can on the BRRRR method so you guys can master it just like I have, all right? So we are gonna learn how to use the BRRRR method to replace your income so you can quit your day job, right? That's really the goal here. So BRRRR Method Mastery, what is the BRRRR method? So simply put, the BRRRR method, it's an acronym. And what it is, like, you know, what is the reason? Why would anybody want to use the BRRRR method? And the reason is it's a method for acquiring lots of cash flowing assets with little to none of your own money and doing it fast. That's really the coolest thing, is that we can really scale this method, and we can be doing, you know, 5, 10. In fact, my business does 15 to 20 of these at any given time. And right now we're doing over 15 BRRRR deals at some point throughout the process. All right, so it's something that you can definitely scale. But what are we really doing? We are acquiring assets. So let's break down what is the acronym itself, right? The BRRRR method. It's B with 4 R's behind them. And those words, or those letters in that acronym, they all stand for different things, right? So B is for buy, R is gonna be for rehab, the next R is gonna be for rent it out, and then refinance is gonna be next, and then finally, the 4th R is to repeat this process, all right? So some people may say, oh, it's B with 3 R's. Some people may say it's B with 4 R's. It really doesn't matter. You're gonna wanna repeat this process over and over again so you can create a ton of equity, a ton of cash flow, and really just a ton of wealth. All right, so the simplest way to describe what it is on this slide. Buy, rehab, rent it out, refinance, and repeat. Now, if we're gonna break it down just a little bit more before we go into each of these steps, really what we're gonna do here is we're gonna buy properties, and we're gonna buy them at a discount with other people's money. That's really where this starts, all right? I don't like using any of my own money. I use private money, or I use hard money to buy every single property that I use the BRRRR method for. In fact, over the last 3 years, I've done close to 200 of these, and I haven't used $1, not 1 nickel, not 1 penny of my own money. So you guys can do this too. It is not hard. Now, when we go to rehab that property, guys, we're gonna update it, we're gonna fix it, we're gonna clean it, we're gonna make it look pretty, all right? So that's really the purpose of the rehab, is to eliminate a lot of the capital expenditures that you may have when you're dealing with rental properties, but also we are going to increase the value by updating and cleaning and painting and rehabbing the unit. So between the buy at a discount and the rehab, there is a lot of equity that we're able to capture, all right? When it comes to rent it out, we're gonna rent these out at the top of the market. And the reason that we're able to rent these out at the top of the market is because we are buying properties that need work typically. You don't have to, but I like to do it that way because it makes it easier. And then we're gonna go in and we're gonna fix these properties up. So the average rehab that we've done over the last 3 to 5 years on our BRRRR deals is typically between 18 and 20,000. So let's just, for simple math, let's just say the average rehab that we do is $20,000. All right. So for $20,000, you're going to be able to do quite a bit to a property, assuming it's a rental property. And I didn't even ask, guys. Mic check. We're good on the mic, right? Everybody can hear me. If you're listening and watching, give these guys a thumbs up or drop a comment that you can hear me, just so that way we know that we're doing everything good over here. All right. So rent it out. Top of the market. Very, very important, guys. I don't want to buy a property that, you know, I buy for, let's say I'm all in for $150,000, and that property can't rent for at least $1,500 or $1,600, right? I want to get as much out of that property as I can, but I'm easily able to do so because I have spent typically around $20,000 fixing it up. The next step here, guys, is the refinance. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to a bank. We're going to borrow money from a bank to pay off the debts and to get a fixed rate, right? So what do I mean by pay off the debts? Well, when I go out to buy a property, I'm borrowing money from a private lender or a hard money lender to purchase it and to fix it up. Both. I'm not borrowing money to just do one or the other, because that would mean I'd have to use some of my money, and I don't want to use any of my money. So I'm going to borrow the purchase, I'm going to borrow the rehab, and in some cases, I may borrow an additional $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 to cover miscellaneous fees, and or in some cases to even pay myself a few $1,000s, because this process isn't a process that we can do in 5 days or in really 5 weeks. It's typically something that's going to take us somewhere between 2 and 3 months on average to go from start to finish. But again, like I said earlier, the beautiful thing about this method is you can scale it, and you can have 10, 15, 20 of these things going at any given time. So don't be turned off or weary or any of those type of things because of the fact that this process isn't necessarily a fast one. You know, 2 to 3 months best case. And if you are brand new at this and your bank requires seasoning, the process could take, 6, 7, maybe even as much as 8 months. But the cool thing is that the more of these you do, the better you're going to get at it, the better relationships you're going to build with your hard and private money lenders, the better relationships you're going to build with your long-term bank lenders, and the amount of experience you have is going to build. So all of these things are going to compound, and it's going to work in your favor to make this process shorter. So the more of these you do, the easier it's going to get, but also the quicker you are going to be able to do this, all right? So last but not least, we want to repeat this process, and we want to do this 10 to 20 times, and we are going to be free when we do that, right? We're going to essentially have enough cash flow from using this method with none of our own money to buy at a discount, rehab these properties, rent them out, refinance, which is really just a transfer of one's debt. I'm going to go borrow money short term from a private or hard money lender at anywhere from 8 to 18%. It can get high in some cases, but it's short term. So don't let those high numbers really affect you. It's not a big deal. I would rather pay somebody 12, 14, even 15% to borrow their money for 3 or 4 months than not be able to do this at all. I mean, again, do not let that bother you. Then we're going to go to a bank or a long-term lender where it's going to have lower long-term rates, so lower rates for longer term, and we're basically just going to transfer the debt, right? We're going to refinance that private or hard money lender out, and then we're going to repeat that. And again, we're going to try to do this 10 to 20 times. The reason we want to do it 10 to 20 times is because, and I think I need to skip ahead here, just 1 or 2 slides, is because we want to get to our freedom number. All right, that's really what we want to get to. Once we can get to our freedom number, we're going to be able to replace our job. So I'm going to circle back to that slide here in just a minute. I'm going to give you guys a quick intro. If you are not aware of who I am, My name is David Dodge. I probably should have started with that. I think I maybe did, but if not, that's who I am. Happy to be here, guys. I always have fun doing these trainings because this is literally what I do all day, every day. I eat and sleep real estate, and the BRRRR method essentially is my favorite thing in real estate, and it's what I have niched myself into because it allows me to create tremendous amounts of wealth. It allows me to do it with none of my own money, and it allows me to create cash flow. And it has 5 or 6 other really, really great benefits that I will share with you guys as we progress through this presentation.
Household easy, we close fast, and anytime that works for you. Your house don't need it, we'll throw cash, it hits so fast, don't know what to do. Wanted her care to